Type Podcast.
Here we go. Hello, around the block and around the world. This is the Just My Type podcast, where we discuss, debate, and deliberate all things diabetes, representing type 2. My name is Dobie Maxwell, representing type 1, the vivacious, the effervescent, the always in the know, Sammy Parker. We'll get to Sammy in just a second. But first, today's episode of the Just My Type podcast is sponsored by the Diabetes app. You got a phone? You need this app. It's a free social community app that brings together both type 1 and type 2 diabetics, plus their supporters. Find community, resources, and Sammy and I on the Diabetes app. Hey, Sammy.
Hey, Dobie.
At the
I just love the introduction.
You
You
do.
like boost my ego going into the podcast, so it gives me that like little extra
Well, that hopefully
burst
it'll
of
lower your
confidence.
blood sugar. Now, did you take your blood sugar before the episode? We always do that with you.
Yeah, so my blood sugar was okay, it's kind of bizarre. I rode a little high all night, and a high blood sugar typically is like, anywhere from like 170 and higher. And I kind of rode at like 200, but then I naturally am coming down. So right now I'm 129 with an arrow down.
With an arrow down. See, it's funny
Yeah.
because I'm from Wisconsin. I know you don't get to the Midwest much, but we bowl a lot. Have you ever been bowling?
Uh, I go bowling all the time.
See, a bowling average and blood sugar. I think for Midwestern listeners in the United States, if your blood sugar is above your bowling
Yeah.
average, it's time to stop the sugars. Uh,
Yeah.
so I don't know how to.
Hey, I'm not the best bowler. I mean, sometimes it's a hit or miss for me.
Well,
Like,
bowling's just fun. You do it with your friends. You hang out.
totally.
It's a social
Yes.
kind of thing. Well, today what we're going to talk about, our subject is diet related. We'll be doing a lot of episodes on diet because it's a huge part of the diabetes experience. But today we're going to talk about counting carbohydrates. Now,
Yes.
before I got diagnosed, I had heard the word. I had no idea what a carbohydrate even was. I thought it was a band name. Who knows? Do they play at Lollapalooza, the carbohydrates? Now, you have a lot of experience with this, so I'll defer to your knowledge. Do you count carbohydrates every day?
So I think being type 1, you kind of start to become not like immune to carbohydrates, but they're always in the back of your head.
Hmm.
And just for like everybody to even know what a carbohydrate is, it's a macronutrient. And it can come in the form of sugar, fiber, or starch. And so I think carbohydrates get a lot of bad rap from a lot of people, which is really sad because first, carbs are amazing. They taste great. And two, they're the energy that your body uses all day long. And it's really important to eat carbs, even though we think like, oh my gosh, it's a carbohydrate, it has calories, we need to stay away. But really, a carbohydrate is what your body's running off of. So it's really important that we do get them, but we just want to make sure it depends on the kind of carbohydrate because they differ.
I don't want to put
Yeah.
words in your mouth. Would it be the equivalent of putting good quality gas in your car, not watered down? You want it to be maybe premium?
1000%, that's totally accurate because I'll go to one gas station and my car is not running the best. I go to the next gas station, I pay top dollar, but my car is running mighty fine. So yes, that's a great parallel, Toby.
Well, when I got diagnosed, my doctor told me to start counting carbohydrates, and that means basically going to the grocery store, even if you have to have your phone and take a picture of labels. The thing, recently in labels, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the States, it's all right on the label. And for years, it wasn't. I don't know how diabetics survived, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, but now it's pretty easy. You look at, okay, this item has this many carbs in it,
Hmm.
and you can mix and
Did they give
match.
you? Did they give you a booklet? Because like for me, I went to Children's Hospital and they gave me a booklet. And it was called Calorie King,
Mhm.
and it has every single carb, calorie, and other macronutrient in it. But how did they kind of like not even like shift you into a specific way of eating, but like what was kind of the regimen they basically
Well,
like
I don't know.
persuaded you?
You were a kid. I was an adult, and they
Yeah.
basically they were a little snotty about it. You have a limit of carbs. This is what it is. You go one over, you're going to be found dead in the aisle of the grocery store. No, I'm kidding.
Mhm.
But it just seemed that dramatic. So I remember the first time I went out to try to get some food, I'm thinking, I can't eat anything in this entire store because there are carbohydrates in it. Maybe some kelp, some kale, something I've never eaten before. I can eat that like an animal, just like would eat like,
Yeah.
carrot greens or something like that. It was
Yeah.
very intimidating. And I was over the top. But I think type twos, for our experience, we go out there and you're so gung ho in the that I'm not going to eat another carbohydrate, and then you find out that doesn't work because there's only three things you can eat, and then you go exactly the other way. Well, I can have a treat once in a while, an entire loaf of bread and a whole jug of peanut butter. That doesn't work either. It's got to be down in the groove, baby.
So you're telling me that you weren't allowed to have a cookie and Twinkie every morning?
No, I tried to invent something. I wanted to
I'm
invent
kidding.
whole wheat ding dongs.
Whole wheat ding dongs, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
because it's diabetic friendly. I haven't been able to perfect it yet. But now, what was your
No
experience
shame.
as a type one? It was hard for type two. I think I found the groove. I think it was what the number was 90. They said, is it
90
90?
carbs?
90 carbs, yeah, 90 grams of
Yeah,
carbohydrates.
so that's something that I personally I hate. I hate it. I don't know why. I hate that there has to be a given number of carbs. Um, I'm sure every diabetic listening right now knows it's very like subject to where you're at in life. So I've gone through like so many different kind of phases, depending on my hormone levels or, if I was more insulin resistant, my age, what I was eating, like if I was dancing a ton, if I was working out a lot, if I was being a couch potato. Um, and I think I have a ton of experiences doing different ones that we can get to in totally another episode. But for me, I kind of now take the approach of like it's not how many carbs you eat, but it's the type of carb you eat.
Okay.
And I think that's like the most important thing when thinking about consuming carbohydrates. Because for example, like Dobie, you could eat, a potato and that is 35 carbs. And then you could eat a bowl of cereal and a serving size is also 35 carbs for like Cocoa Puffs. Okay. Let's
Mhm.
take Cocoa Puffs. But the way Cocoa Puffs are going to break down your body is night and day to the way a sweet potato is going to break down your body. And I think that we got like the traditional, and I don't like bashing on them, but the choose my plate and, like a lot of the times how people do the specific amount of carbs and different companies are like, this is the amount of carb you can eat. I'm like, no, because if you eat 90 carbs in chicken Alfredo pasta, and pizza. Well, hell, you're only gonna have freaking carbohydrates at dinner because that freaking consumes all of it. So I get frustrated by it.
Well, I can see why you get frustrated because it's intimidating. It's overwhelming. Now everybody's got a
Yeah.
different body style, height, weight. Where I'm from, they're big boned. No, they're fat because I'm from the Midwest and we eat poorly here. But California, where you live, is more health
Mhm.
conscious, and I know we have listeners
Yeah.
all over the world. Other countries are very much more health conscious than America, and I can say that as an American because Americans get boastful. We're the number one country in the world because we get taught that as a kid. But I'm very humble, and I don't think that all the time because people are yeah, have cultures in other parts of the world that are a lot deeper and longer in tenure. You see what I'm saying? Like
Very
Chinese
true.
culture is thousands of years, and they have
Yeah.
natural health things. And I think diabetes has been around for a while now, so other countries have had more of a time to adjust to it than America, who is just everything's on TV. Well, eat this fast food thing, eat that, cuckoo for cocoa puffs kind of thing. Nobody gets cuckoo for vegetables. You're always cuckoo for cocoa puffs
Yeah, no.
because they
I
don't care.
actually have
They don't care
I
if
have
you're
a
alive. Y-
no, they don't care. They
You eat
don't care.
cereal?
Yeah, no. But I have an interesting story. So, really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
This is like a little side note. So everybody, side note. Okay. Basically, I couldn't eat bread for a long time because of the carbohydrate and I was insulin resistant. So I went and I studied abroad
Mhm,
in college and studied abroad in Switzerland, but I went to Italy on the weekends. And um I like couldn't eat bread before because let's face it, like all the bread here is like injected with whatever chemicals that are
mhm.
put into them unless you get like, that organic only real whole wheat grain bread, okay? But, like, even that, there's something injected, I swear. So, go to Italy, I am starving. Me and my friend are eating at this restaurant,
Mhm.
and I eat literally an entire basket of bread. And I know you're thinking, "Oh my god, she's gonna pay for it."
Call the ambulance.
I didn't pay for it. Like, my blood sugars stayed literally flat after a whole I'm not kidding you when I say basket of bread, like a basket of bread, because Italy, everything they make is, like, homemade from the farm,
Mhm.
real wheat, real grain, like, it didn't affect my blood sugars at all, but I just thought that was crazy. I mean, that's like a
Well,
perfect example.
I don't think it's crazy. I think we're crazy here in the States
Yeah, that's
because
true,
we
that's
we have
fair.
morphed so far off whatever normal is. We are not that at all.
No.
And I think rather than, just whine about the way society is. I think we have to react to it as diabetics. Like, okay, this is how it is. Our personal health is more important than
Yeah.
some big restaurant chain or some grocery store chain because you
Mhm.
don't even think about it. I mean,
No.
you eat all these things. It's like, well, okay, this is what I ate when I was a kid, and it was okay then. And you look at the carb count, it's like, well, there's a comma in the number. It's like, holy Christmas, it is way higher than you think.
Oh, 1000%. It's kind of funny because I realized, like, when I was in other places or countries, they don't have vending machines everywhere. We're the only country, I swear, that has the amount of vending machines we have in every corner, and it's filled. There's, like, maybe once in a blue moon, I will see, like, one of those hard-boiled egg packages, and I'm thinking, "Oh, who the heck would eat a hard-boiled egg out of this vending machine?"
Yeah.
But, like, majority of the time, it's just filled with crap. Literally filled.
Well, what we want to do here is create a community where you can unfill your life with crap and put good
Yeah.
things in. What do you think a good substitute, a plan of attack for a type 1 or a type 2? I think even if you're not diabetic, we could all change our diets.
Yeah, well, okay, first off, how do you, like, approach your day? Like, your daily life? Are you, like, wake up and you're like, fruit is calling me. Yeah, baby, go and
Here's
eat the
here's
fruit."
how my life works, Sammy. This is why we're so opposite, and it's good for the show because my life is I wake up with a crisis going on, and I just spend the rest of my day putting out fires,
Okay.
flaming problems, and there's stress and there's pressure. I'm only exaggerating just a little bit. Being a self-employed, I'm an entertainer, and something I was well, I had a gig and it fell apart, and now I have to
The
replace that
hustle's
week.
real.
The hustle is totally real. I'm not saying that people that don't have that lifestyle don't have pressure working for another place or you go to school and you have things. We all have pressures in our lives. And my point of the whole thing is planning is important. And a lot of times I don't have the chance to plan. As a single person, as a diabetic, I think, okay, I should plan out my diet for the week and I should have a little
Mhm.
the oatmeal. Oh, I'm hungry. Okay, the phone rang. I got to do this thing. I'll just drive through the drive-through window. I'll have a couple of
No.
things there. I understand that I'm taking the bullet for everybody else because I know I'm not the only one that does that. But those
Totally.
drive-through windows are
You know what I think would
25
be a
cars. Go ahead. Yeah.
killer future episode? Grocery
Mm.
shopping. We talk all about grocery
Amen.
shopping. I love grocery shopping. I'm like a weirdo. I will go into like 5 grocery stores in a week because I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder what Sprouts has today. Ooh, I wonder what hummus dip Whole Foods has." But, okay,
You're
so
talking foreign language. You're talking Jap want,
sorry.
want, want, hummus, want, Whole Foods. No, no, this is
Okay,
all
so
good. I think we need to meet in the middle.
yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about just like what a good and bad food is. And this is
Please do.
funny because I think people right now are like, "Oh my gosh, she's saying there's good and bad foods. That's so hypocritical." No, 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 no. Rewind. A good food means your blood sugars for you individually are okay with it. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna consume it, and then I'm gonna, raise a little, and then I'm gonna come back down." And then a bad food does not mean calorically or nutritiously that it's bad. It just means that for your blood sugars, they don't like it. And you can't help it. You can't choose. Your body's just like, reject. So, for an example, oatmeal. Okay. Super, super amazing carbohydrate. Great fuel source for the day. Can make it super yummy. But when I eat it, I know that my blood sugar will be 260 after, no matter how much insulin I take. I've tried it 6, 7 times.
Is
Every
it what
single
you
time.
dress it up with? I mean, you could have
No,
oatmeal and
no,
then you put
that's
it
the weird thing.
okay.
Like, I will only dress it up, with some, like, real ground cinnamon and, maybe a banana. But even then, I'm like, "Well, I can eat bananas, no problem." But the oatmeal, I just doesn't want to. And I will say, sometimes I just bite the bullet because 'cause I'm like, "I want the freaking I want that big bowl of oatmeal. So I'm just going to take the bullet and work out a ton after with insulin." But that's a bad food for me. And then, like, a good food is fruit. Like, I can eat as much fruit as I want and it goes up and my blood sugar comes back down. And it's strange because some people might be like, "I can't eat a single blueberry without my blood sugar being like zing." And for me, it's like, I eat a blueberry, comes back down. But I think it's important to know the concept of a good and a bad food, and also not thinking because of how doctors approach this sometimes and like, you can eat whatever you want. No, like, yes, you can, but you also have to find out what works for you individually and what is a good and what is a bad food.
Now, what's a good way to experiment? I would think that you don't want to have something that, okay, I've never really had this before. Say blueberries, for example. I'm gonna eat
Mhm.
a little, a serving. How many servings are blueberries in a serving? 10, 15, 20, a pound, a jug, who knows? And then you
Yeah.
go out and you on your way to work and you're on the freeway, and next thing you know, you're face down on the steering wheel with the horn blowing, and blocking traffic because you had a hypoglycemic explosion.
Okay, so I think something that's important when you're testing these out is one, maybe do it on the weekend if you're not working. Two, start out small with like quantity. So that's something I think I realized. Like when I shifted to plant-based, I integrated fruit into my diet very like minimally to not have that instant spike. And also pre-bolus. So if you know you're going to eat a big carbohydrate, like Dobie, I know you don't really have to pre-bolus, but I guess a parallel of pre-bolus for you would be like maybe go on a 2-mile walk and then try eating a food that you're worried might raise your blood sugar because your insulin sensitivity will be increased, which means your insulin will be effective in your body that's being produced. So I think that's like a good thing for like a type 2 would be like maybe, drink a cup of water before, go on like a mini walk and make sure it's on the weekend when you're not going to a serious thing. And for a type 1, like pre-bolus, make sure you start out small, maybe take more insulin than you think you need and catch it before you go low. But definitely just kind of like finding that groove and testing it out for yourself.
Well, I know I'm old and I'm going to talk about an old school reference, but cars used to have carburetors in them. I don't know if you ever heard that term, Sammy. A carburetor.
Unfortunately, I have not.
It's okay, and a lot of and it's okay people have it, but what it is, now things are more computerized and they're regimented. There's fuel injection, and the fuel gets injected in and there's a spark, and it makes the car go. And, a
Mhm.
carburetor, there's a fuel and air mixture, and it would burn, and the gasoline would burn and run the car, and sometimes it was lean and sometimes it was rich, and there was always an adjustment of your carburetor to get the ultimate fuel uh, efficiency in your car. I think what you're talking about is the same way, the ultimate fuel air mixture in our bodies, what carbohydrates, so
Mhm.
we can have the efficient uh, well, I don't know. I mean, you don't want to spike high or low when you're out
No.
at work or on a date or
No.
wherever,
Oh my
church.
gosh.
I don't
Well,
know.
let me tell you, it's terrible when that happens. It can be brutal because it can ruin your whole mood. And you're like, ah. But so that's why I think it's important. Like trial and error always, because you don't learn unless you try. But then also like trial and error in a safe environment that is not going to impact you in a negative way is my
Like
advice.
prison. You're in prison for 20 years. It's like, I'll have a couple of grapes, see what happens.
Yeah.
That's a little
Yeah.
extreme. That's the thing. Well,
It's a
what's
little
that?
extreme, but it's a good parallel.
It is a good parallel. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to take a little break right now, get some word from the sponsors. That's what keeps us going. Come right back. Sammy and I came up with a fun game we want called Count the Carbohydrates, Guess Your Carb. We got to come up with a good name for it.
I
Because
think it should be guessing your carbs.
Guessing Your Carbs with Sammy
I'm
and Dobie. Coming
obsessed.
right back, and we'll see the foods that you eat if you can guess the carbs. Coming right back. This is the Just My Type podcast. Okay, we're back. I'm Dobie Maxwell. She is Sammy Parker. We are going to together play a game called Guess the Carbs. Is that what it's called, Sammy?
Yeah, I like it.
I'm trying to.
Guess,
I was just trying to
or
get
how
the
about like
domain name during the commercial. I'm trying to get the domain name so nobody
maybe
steals
like,
it on us.
yeah, guess the carbs or like guessing your carbs. No,
Guessing
I
your
like guess the
carbs.
carbs.
You
Guess that carb.
guess that carb. That's better. I like that the best.
Yeah, yeah. Our producer just came up with that one. She said, guess that carb. I think
That's
that's
what
funny.
she's like. It's Elizabeth is our producer. She's great, along
Shout
with
out
Rosa.
Elizabeth
Yes,
and Rosa.
they sort out our fan mail by the ton, which we don't get.
Pod Squad. Just
Pod
kidding.
Squad, they're our Pod Squad. We
Pop the
appreciate
mail.
every successful race car driver needs a pit crew, and there are awesome pit crew. So let's play the game now. You want to go first? You want me to go first? I went
Okay.
grocery shopping. You went grocery shopping. I came up with a list of items that our listeners will probably eat, and see if together we can guess the carbs.
Okay, so how about you start? You can like say it and then I'm gonna guess the carbs and you can go if I'm wrong and then ding 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 if
Okay,
I'm right.
I'm gonna right to the worst one.
Okay.
Okay, Pop Tarts. Because single guys like me, you get up in the morning, you got a place to go. You got to okay. I'll grab a Pop Tart. You know what? That was pretty small.
Okay. A single Pop Tart
No,
or
this is
two?
both two Pop Tarts because they come in the little envelope. What would
So
you
I'm
call
gonna
it?
guess
So
30,
two Pop Tarts,
I'm gonna guess around 32, 35.
32 grams. A little lower, higher, higher,
Oh, higher? Okay, okay.
higher.
Maybe like 44.
Still a little bit low. Two Pop Tarts is 70 grams of carbohydrates, or 25% of your daily allowance. Can you believe that? So that would be
No.
so if
Wait, are
you
you
ate
serious?
I wouldn't lie to you, Sammy. I went to the grocery store. I
Oh
was like a little
my
kid writing this down.
gosh.
Okay, what would probably be the worst? I'll throw this at Sammy, the first one. And I thought, oh, Pop Tarts, because as to me, as a traveling comedian, that's like the morning staple. You have to
Wow.
drive 8 hours to another gig, and you get up there. And if the hotel
I'm
doesn't have the free breakfast, you go to the convenience store, fill up your car with gas, and you get a couple of Pop Tarts. So figure 8 Pop Tarts, which I've never eaten, but so that's your whole carbohydrates for the day,
oh
right
my
there. So
god, that's
if you like Pop Tarts, if you're
crazy.
listening,
Oh.
know that it's a very expensive. You're spending a lot of your carbohydrate budget.
Stop the tart. Okay.
Stop the tart. What? Okay. What you got? What do you
Okay.
have for me?
So I have one that I just thought of, and this is not honestly, I don't even care. I'm gonna bluntly say this one is so unhealthy. So everybody listening, this one is like an ultimate killer. How many carbs does a McFlurry have? A 16-ounce McFlurry.
16-ounce McFlurry. I would guess 40 carbs, 40 grams.
Crank that thing up.
Crank it higher.
Yeah.
Wow. Are we in Pop Tart territory? 65,
Crank it up.
80,
Crank it up.
100.
Crank it up.
Oh man, 120. That's my final offer.
Yeah, 124.
I feel like I'm at an auction. Wow.
124 freaking carbs in a 16-ounce McFlurry.
Which are absolutely delicious, by the way. And
No,
normally
they
I would
are
say
amazing, like,
let's not say
yeah,
just because it tastes good, and it doesn't mean it's a
but, like, that is literally,
bad
like, a
for you.
killer. That's not even, like, remotely, like, "Hey, moderation food." That's just like, ooh,
So
you
that's
know?
that's half your budget. It's twice what Pop Tarts were.
That's crazy. Yeah,
So it makes Pop Tarts
yeah.
sound like
You make
kale.
Pop-Tarts look like a freaking fruit. Okay, sorry, Dobie, go.
No, that's great. Here's one because I think it's a hidden carbohydrate. Sweet pickles. I come from the Midwest in the United States.
Mm,
Pickles are a big deal. I love sweet pickles. You have them with a snack, a sandwich, whatever, whatever. So there's just three sweet pickles. How
are
many?
they, like, big pickles? Or are they tiny?
They are. I'm not going to get in the jokes here because we're gonna. It's a family show. Uh, it's yes, three medium-sized pickles, sweet
Okay.
pickles.
Okay, I'm gonna guess 15,
You're very close. A little bit lower.
12.
11.
Hmm,
But think about that, 11
okay.
grams, if 90 is your budget, I don't wanna waste my carbohydrates on pickles. To me, that's a
Like,
throwaway
yeah,
thing.
no, and literally only 3 pickles? I'm like,
I wanna
okay.
drink hot fudge with a straw right out of the cup,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that's just a
Okay,
surprise one. Okay, what's your next
that's a
one?
good one. I have okay, how many carbs does a standard cup of quinoa have?
Oh, I don't have any idea. I'm gonna just guess 22 because it's the year 2022. That's my guess.
Crank her up a little.
22 and a half.
Maybe by point
40,
five.
40.
Yeah, just shy, 38 carbs. But here's an example. Quinoa is a killer food. So even though it has that many carbs, your body's utilizing it totally different than a McFlurry and a Pop-Tart.
Okay, yeah, it's quinoa
Fun
seems
fact.
healthy to me. Plus,
Yeah,
it's a good
very
Scrabble word.
healthy.
It's a good Scrabble word too. I like that.
Yeah, it is,
Okay, here's one for you. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, which I'm assuming would go on a sandwich. Doesn't count the bread,
Okay,
just the
what
peanut
what
butter.
brand?
It is a I don't wanna say because I don't wanna say brands on the show because we
Okay,
might have a
so sorry.
sponsor. It's a leading brand of peanut butter, which has 3 letters in it that I think every kid has had sometime in
Yes,
their life.
okay, I'm gonna guess it has about 8.
Boo, bingo. Sammy, the queen of
Uh.
prognostication,
Queen carb counter.
the Vanna White of carb counting. You're right on there. But you think about it, that's again, if you're going with 90 as the average, that's still a lot.
Yeah, no, it is the calories of peanut butter, you put that thing, you, like, dump it, and you're over there, like, 500 calories,
Mhm.
3 tablespoons. Okay,
What's your next one?
how about a standard size banana?
Standard size, garden variety, banana, 10,
Crank her up.
175.
Wrong, 27.
Like the price is right. 20
Yeah.
27 and one banana's got 27?
Yeah, well, okay, that's also, like, a probably, like, 8-inch or sorry, 7, 8-inch banana, so, like, a nice hefty banana that you're gonna eat, and it's gonna
Okay,
fill you up.
pickles and banana jokes, I'm gonna move away from this.
I'm sorry, Dobie.
No, no,
I'm
no.
trying to keep it
I'm
PG
trying to
here.
keep it we're good here.
Okay,
The adults know what we're talking about.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Okay, you go.
final, a soda, pop, whatever you wanna call it, soft drink, sugared soft drink. Now there's I look at all of them, and the highest one is,
Uh-huh.
what would you think? 12-ounce serving of the highest.
77 carbs.
Ooh, no, you're way high.
Really? I thought
Yeah,
Mountain Dew.
that was the one.
Sorry, no,
I know that's the one. It's
Sorry, guys. Mountain Dew, you're great. Gotta give it to
No,
you,
I
but
I, I love it too.
okay, but maybe is it the sugars that are 77 and the
That could
carbs are
be
what, like 62?
46 grams of
Huh.
carbohydrates in a
Well,
12-ounce Mountain Dew.
that's still a lot
That
because you
was the
just
highest one I
drink
could
it,
find.
you're just
Oh, and one is not enough. I mean, especially for me,
no.
and again, I know I'm abnormal, but driving across the country on a hot day as a comedian, I'll have, 3, 4, 5 Mountain Dews or the big bedwetter size that you get at the gas station.
Yeah.
"Oh, it's only got 46 grams." Yeah, that's 12 ounces. I've got a
Yeah.
72-ounce kidney buster. That's more than that.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
gonna send me right to the ICU.
Definitely will.
So,
Definitely. Okay, I have
anyway,
another one.
okay, go ahead.
Really quick. A cup of oatmeal because I was talking about oatmeal.
Okay, to me, that's a small serving, but I'll say 30.
You are doing great. Okay, it was 27. But
Okay.
yeah, kinda depends on the oatmeal you have too, but yeah, that's that right there,
You
27
but it's
carbs.
but it's not only the oatmeal, it's what you dress it up with to me. To me,
Totally.
I like peanut butter on oatmeal. We talked about this in a past episode, I believe. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, that adds it up a little bit. And then, skim milk, is it okay to put skim milk on oatmeal?
Yeah, I think it is. I like it.
Are you a
I
doctor?
don't have milk, but I like almond milk for
Sammy
sure.
said, as I'm in the emergency room getting my pumped, that Sammy said I could have milk in my oatmeal, and I was like,
Toby's in there.
this is just a start. I think we're gonna play this game more. I like it. Yes,
I
yes,
do
Carb.
too.
So thanks to our pod squad for coming up with that. She is Sammy. I am Dobie. We're gonna land the mothership right now. We'll be right back with more in this last episode of Just My Type podcast. Sammy, this is a fun episode.
I know, I like this one. It was a little like what's that called? Ball curve? No.
No, it
Oh,
was back and forth, but
curveball. Oh my gosh, curveball, not ball curve.
curveball, ball curve, whatever it is. The dyslexia podcast will be starting next week on the Just My Type network. How can people get a hold of us, Sammy? Because I think this is gonna start some listener interaction. That's what we want. We always encourage your input.
Okay, so first off, question of the pod is going to be what is your good and bad food? We want you to share and comment on our social media, which is for Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at just my type pod underscore, and Facebook at just my type pod. And you can hashtag us at hashtag just my type pod. But we want you to answer the question because I'm curious. So, question of the pod: what is your good and bad foods? Again, this is like pre-warning. Good and bad does not literally mean good and bad. It just means how it works with your individualistic blood sugars.
I don't think I have one myself. I have to start experimenting more. What is yours?
My good foods are fruit and plant-based foods, and my bad foods are, like oatmeal and bread.
Sounds good. We are the Just My Type podcast. She's Sammy. I'm Dobie. Thank you for listening. And Sammy,
C'est la vie, baby.
This is the Just My Type podcast.